Hey guys, Kevin, Muddy River Tactical. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to go over the most overlooked aspect of concealed carry in my opinion, and that will be a good quality gun belt. There's a lot of gun belts on the market, but there's one that truly stands out to me. So we're going to go over those features and tell you why I think if you don't have a gun belt, you should look into one right now. All right, guys, like I said, I think the gun belt is the most overlooked aspect to concealed carry. You know, everybody focuses on that gun and holsters and things like that, which is great. You need a good gun that's reliable. You need a great holster, no doubt about that. But what people don't think about is the belt is what's supporting this pistol and concealed carry for all day, everyday comfort. Make sure you don't have any sagging and make sure it's just overall secure. And too many people, in my opinion, are going to get the Walmart belt and don't understand why they're having issues with that belt. So I wanted to stop by today and just go over the features of a good quality gun belt and also tell you the brand that I think is the best on the market by far right now. There's a lot of good gun belts. This video isn't to put one to the side and say this is the best and only option. I'm going to tell you why I personally have chosen to go to nothing but Core Essential belts. And we've actually, you know, we're a holster manufacturer. We do leather holsters. We've been making leather belts for a long time, but they're the traditional 5-hole leather belts and they had a polymer insert in them. They're super good, but with that insert and dual layer leather, it just made the belt thicker and a little more cumbersome than it could be per se. So over the last 12 months, I've really been playing with Core Essential belts. And then here recently I got with them and we quit selling our belts altogether. And now we offer Core Essential belts on our website as well. They just have what I consider kind of an edge in the market all the way around. First and foremost, their customer service is awesome. Even before I chose to use them in a business aspect and sell belts from them and quit making ours, I just wanted to test them and see what I liked and what I didn't like about them. And really the list of positives is so high compared to the negatives. And I tried some other belts along the lines. I'm not gonna name bash anybody here. And there's some similar belts out there that will do what you're looking for. But Core Essentials just overall stood out to me. The overall fit and finish of these is next to none. Just the quality of the product is great. Those not familiar with Core Essentials, so these belts, this is actually a black leather, and then here's their brown leather. And we got the X3 buckles on them. That's what we're selling them with. And then they got their nylon belts as well, which we'll show here in a minute. But the cool thing about Core Essential belts, and there's a few other belts on the market that have this, but it's the micro adjustment. You can see there's no holes. It's just a ratcheting micro adjustment. So when you get this belt, you just take the buckle off, you cut it down. I don't know if you can see the sizes there, to the size you need, which is just an easy, literally 2-second cut. It doesn't have to be perfect because it goes back in this buckle so that you can literally cut it crooked and it wouldn't matter because this buckle covers it all. So there's some people I've heard concerned about that, which that's a non-issue at all. But you get it, it takes you about 2 minutes to cut it to your size, and then it just simply inserts, and you got about 10 inches of micro adjustments, like 1/4-inch micro adjustments. You can hear it clicking through there. And then this button right here loosens it. So the super cool thing about that, especially compared to old style belts, including the ones that we made, is it gives you that micro adjustment. I can't tell you how many times, I fluctuate back and forth in weight, how many times you wish your belt was barely tighter, or you put it to the next hole and then it's barely too tight, and you can just kind of never hit that sweet spot. And this just eliminates all those problems. And I just find myself as an overall more comfortable carry because you can, depending on what position you're carrying and if it's inside or outside, your belt tightness can be different. So this allows you to switch on the fly to any situation. And the 1/4-inch micro adjustments is huge. So no longer do you have to order a belt and hope you order the right size or how much tag line you have left. Because that's another thing I had problems with on a lot of belts for me. So the tag is how much or what I consider a tag, is how much is left after you get to where you want. I personally don't like a lot there. I like just enough to get under my next buckle so it's held back, but I don't like to go halfway around my body. So the other cool thing about cutting these is it allows you to change how much tag line you want. You know, with this much adjustment, I mean, you got 10 inches of adjustment right there or better. It just allows you to customize it to you. And then if you fluctuate in weight or wear a different holster or any different setup, it's always changing. So we'll go through the few belts that they got here. I just got a few examples of them. Both of these are the leather ones. So they're buffalo leather. It's the same leather we use for our leather holsters, and it's actually the same leather we used as our in our leather belts when we made them. So they look super good and just a normal classic feel like a normal belt would be. And then they also have their nylon belts, which is more like the tactical belts, which I'm also a fan of, but it's kind of a back and forth. These are both great options, but it just depends on what you want. For me personally, what you want in a concealed carry belt is you want, like this belt, you look at holds there and you can put a holster or whatever on it and it stays solid, it stays secure. But you want that stiffness to be on the up and down right here, you know, where you can't pinch this. But you do want it to have some flex that way. That way when you're wearing a holster, especially appendix carry is huge, and I've noticed the issue with, is if you get a belt that has no flex to it at all, as far as this way right here, when you go to sit down appendix carry, that gun jabs into you way harder than what it needs to, because this just doesn't give you quite as much flex on the nylon ones. Whereas these leather ones, they still got the stiffness you need right here to really support the firearm. But it's hard to tell, but they definitely got a little bit more flex front to back, which I think is better for concealed carry myself. So I started wearing the Core Essentials nylon belt, and I still wear one occasionally. But I personally like the leather. It's just a tad bit more, I won't even say lightweight because it's heavy duty for sure, but it's just a tad more flex to it that I personally like, and it just doesn't make the gun dig into me quite as much. Where considering the belt that I think a lot of people are using and have issues with, as you can see, I still got the tag on this. Literally, I don't own any belts like this because we've made belts for so long, and I've learned this a long time ago. I went to Walmart and just bought a normal belt, you know, $15, $10, whatever it was. But if you look, this is what a lot of people are concealing their guns with, and you can literally bend it in half right there. So that's why clips come off belts and different issues like that. And then the next thing is it can't even support itself, let alone the weight of a holster. So it's never gonna support, you know, even a light gun is gonna be over a pound. You know, the smallest gun you got is gonna be over a pound with bullets in it. This can't even support the 6-ounce weight of itself, let alone extra weight pushed on it. So in my opinion, using a belt like this does you zero good in concealed carry, and you might as well not use a belt at all because it's not benefiting you in any way. So yes, on Core Essential belts and any gun belt, you're gonna spend a little bit more money for them up front, but overall, I think it's gonna make your concealed carry experience way better and give you just more comfortable and more confident carrying, which is what you really need. You know, you don't want to be the guy walking through the store checking your gun all the time. Well, with those $10 belts, that's what you're going to do because it's never secure. Spend the money and get a Core Essential belt or any of the other belts on the market. Like I said, I'm not just saying that's the only belt out there. There's others out there. Core Essentials is just who I've chose for price, quality, and just customer service together. I don't think there's anybody that compares with them in my opinion, but that's not to say there's not other good options on the market. They're just who I chose to use. So let me know your guys' thoughts. What concealed carry belts you use, or do you not use a concealed carry belt? And if you don't use a concealed carry belt, definitely get your hands on one and notice the differences between them, and I think you'll thank yourself later. So until next time, keep practicing and always be prepared.